Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mindful of You podcast. This is episode 79, What to Do When You're Sick. So if you were here for my last episode, I was talking about how I am super down and out when I'm sick, which to an extent is normal, and I'm going to talk about that, but I feel like for me it's a little bit extreme. And so I decided to make a podcast episode about this at my mom's recommendation, so that I could, see if I can do as I say, not just, give advice. Let's see if I can take it. So, I'm going to talk about what to do when you're sick. I have 11 tips here, and we're just going to go over those. The kind of sickness I'm talking about is like temporary sickness. So like something like a cold or an infection or a stomach virus, something like that. Okay. Number 1 is expect to feel down / different. So, you're not going to feel like yourself. And that includes like mentally and emotionally. I think part of myself is you know what? I should be more resilient. This shouldn't bother me so much, but that's just adding to my pain and frustration. Let the emotions come, let it bug you, let it bother you. It is what it is. And then, try and work through that as you can. Also not going to feel nearly as good physically. Obviously, you're sick. And so your routines and daily activities are going to have to change for just a little bit, and then you'll get better. Number 2 is drink lots of water and eat. I think it's really tempting to not drink water or not eat when we're sick, especially with stomach stuff. But you just have to. You have to keep nourishing your body in order to get better. So find things that are tolerable, find things that you can stomach if your stomach's sick, find things that don't feel horrible on your throat if you have a cold, or don't taste horrible if you have COVID, and just do your best to keep food down. I think part of the problem with this too is it's not necessarily that food or water or drink sounds bad, but it's a lot of effort when you feel sick. It's crap, I have to go get food. And if possible, if somebody can bring you something, that's great. If somebody can fill your water for you, that's great. If not, try and get up the strength, because it's going to ultimately make you feel better, even with those 60 to 90 seconds of having to go grab something from the kitchen. Number 3 is sleep more than usual. This is hard when you're sick, because when you don't feel good, sleep doesn't come easily. So try and find medicine, even just over the counter, that is helping you, that you can sleep with. You could even potentially try natural sleep stuff like melatonin, to try and get yourself to be able to sleep through the night at least. I wake up with coughing attacks, which really freaking sucks. And so I get not wanting to lay down and go to sleep, or not being able to lay down and go to sleep, but where possible, take naps and go to bed earlier, wake up a little later. I do this with work. I will plan on a late day when I'm sick a lot of the times. So I'll plan on starting my work day at 10 rather than 8:30, because I know I'm going to need a little extra rest, especially if I wasn't able to sleep during the night. Sometimes I finally fall asleep closer to the morning. So try that where possible. Number 4 is, if you're going to continue your day as normal, so not taking a sick day or anything like that, try to get ready for the day and get everything you need. So by get ready for the day, I mean, try and brush your hair, put on something comfortable but that you feel confident in, put on mascara, do what you need to do to look at yourself and be yeah, I look sick, but I'm still here, I look okay. So that's not adding to your stress or not feeling good of the day. And what I mean by get everything you need is medicine, cough drops, drinks, and stuff like that. Make sure you're prepared with whatever you need, so that you can, get through the day somewhat bearably and comfortably. Number 5, if you're going to take a sick day, find really engaging entertainment. So don't just scroll on your phone. That's going to suck. It's not going to help you feel any better. So I would try like finding a show that's interesting to you. Like for me, it's usually like reality TV, honestly, or like a good book series if you're into reading. And so that like you're actually engaged in something so that the time is passing faster. So you're not just like staring at your phone, watching the same type of reels over and over again. You're watching some kind of story or something like that, and you're actually starting to, feel better. Okay. Number 6, ask for help with what you need, but don't expect to be completely babied. So I think this goes along with like the food and drink stuff. Like if somebody can help you with that or is willing to help you with that, awesome. Like if somebody can get you food or get you water, then great. But if it probably won't happen 100% of the time, the whole time you're sick. So recognize that you're going to have to like gird up your strength or whatever and get what you need for yourself. Things I ask my husband to do is like go get me medicine from the store so I don't have to go out. I'll ask him to, fill my water if he's around, make dinner, and things like that. And like oftentimes he can, sometimes he can't. And then I have to do what I know is going to help me feel better, which is usually something like medicine, food, water. And I have to do it, and that's fine. I think my husband and I try to take care of each other to the best of our abilities, but we also both have a lot going on. So, I need to remember that. Okay. Number 7 is go to the doctor if you aren't getting better. So I talked about a while back on this podcast that I wasn't feeling good. And so I went to the doctor and they prescribed me an antibiotic, but they weren't sure I had a bacterial type infection. And then later they found out I had pneumonia. I had to go back to the doctor because I didn't take my antibiotic because I wasn't confident in taking it. And then when I went back, they scanned my lungs and I had pneumonia, the kind that could be treated by an antibiotic. And so then I started taking it and then I started getting better, but I felt really miserable and awful until that point. And so if you feel like you're like really, really sick, like, yes, you'll probably get better on your own, but it might be sped up a lot if you can go to the doctor and they can give you something that will help. They can't always, so don't go in expecting an antibiotic because sometimes like it's viral and an antibiotic isn't going to help. But go in, and I think everybody's always hoping, like, I hope this is something I can just take a pill, it'll just go away. And it isn't always, but sometimes it is. So it's worth going in and making sure that there isn't anything that could help you. Okay. Number 8, take hot showers and baths. I really like to take a hot bath when I am sick because it just helps clear everything up. And I'm laying down, I'm in warm water, and it helps me feel better, at least for those 15 minutes or whatever. As a side note, I also do this sometimes on my period, depending on the situation. If I have like really bad cramps or something like that, it can help to sit in water. And then I also like to take a good hot shower because feeling clean helps, but also the hot water helps clear everything up. So just, at least once a day, I would say, when you're sick. And then number 9, clean or ask someone to clean your environment. So try and like dust, make the bed, do what you can so that the place is like fresh and clean smelling, so you can feel like you're in like at least a clean environment because your body feels all icky. Something I like to do is I like to make my bed and then I lay on top of like the covers with just my own blanket. That helps me feel like I'm not in bed, like it's nighttime, time to go to sleep, but I'm just resting. Or I take naps like that a lot too. And for some reason that just helps me feel less icky. Not being all tangled up like in those sheets and stuff. Number 10, once you feel up to it, take walks and move your body. So, when I got sick this last time, I texted Rachel, who was on our podcast, for movement and mental health. And I asked her, what do I do when I'm sick? Like, what if I just feel crappy? Because I hate not being able to go to the aerial gym. Like, I freaking hate it. It sucks. But I also know that, like, if I do something, that would help. And so I think what I've decided, at least for now, is like, especially like just after the peak of sickness. So when you like wake up one day and you're like, oh, I feel like a tiny bit better. That's for me when I want to start really moving my body, like getting out on walks, doing light cardio, stretching and stuff like that. And I think that would just speed up my recovery process, and at least help me, feel like I'm moving my body again. In the depths and throes of sickness, I don't think like walking and doing that kind of stuff actually really helped that much. It just made my throat hurt worse, my breathing harder. And maybe like it does help me heal faster, but like I didn't like how it made me feel in the moment. Okay. This is the last one. Number 11, recognize that it's not forever. You're not going to be sick forever. And so it's okay to let responsibility go a little while you take care of yourself. I have a hard time in my job because I am the only one who can really help my students. And so other people have situations where like their coworkers can cover for them or things like that. But I'm not really getting coverage. I'm mostly just pushing off work. So it's going to like another part of the week, or it can be really hard, especially like if I'm really sick. And so I tell my admin and then they call and get my appointments rescheduled. And then it comes to the next day or the day after and I'm not better. And it's the same people they just rescheduled that they're calling to reschedule. I'm like, I don't want to make them reschedule twice. So then sometimes I like force myself to work and it's just not pretty and it's not fun. It's really annoying. But it also just is what it is. So some things I've done to try and combat this is, I'll tell my admin to have students email me, especially if it's like a second reschedule. And I'm like, I'll try and help them the best I can over email. If it's a phone or video appointment, I'll try and do it from home. So there's things that can be done, but it is hard. But just recognize it's not forever. You'll catch up on the things that are falling to the wayside. If you're a mother or like a parent, maybe you let your kids, get away with a little more screen time and things like that so that they're entertained or playing independently while you're resting. Whatever you need to do to get yourself better. So I should totally listen to this when next time I'm sick, because I'm going to need the reminders for sure. So I'm glad I have this to look back on next time I feel sick, and maybe I'll listen to it and be like, I'm already doing all of this and life still sucks. We'll see. But hopefully if you're sick right now, this helps you, or if down the road you're not feeling good, you can come back to this episode and see if you can try any of these things to start feeling a little bit better. So thank you guys so much for listening. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.